Did you allow yourself to release today? Did you allow yourself to cry today? Did you allow yourself to feel today? And so there was I'm gonna go backwards from the most recent post that I saw where this guy was like, you're trying to skip through lessons that you have to learn, right? As the wind is blowing, so thank you. You're trying to skip through lessons that you must learn in order to get to where you are desiring to get to. That was like the most recent one. And then earlier in the day, it was like a comic, uh, like image, and it was like the man had his heart broken, and in him having his heart broken, he's like, I have this void. And the sage or whomever was like, okay, well, don't fill the void. And the guy was like, okay, well, what do you mean don't fill the void? And he's like, just leave it empty. And so he was like, as time went on and he felt, and he was telling the guy to feel all his feels, he was like, over time, the void and the hole that he was experiencing began to fill, but it began to fill from within rather than something external filling him up and feeling. And so, okay, sometimes you gotta let that out. Sometimes you gotta let that out. And no, we may not always understand. We can say, like, okay, this is the lesson that we have to learn, but it doesn't mean you'll always understand. When you are ascending and going to a next level, you just kind of gotta lean into what is happening in your 3D, because if you are choosing to ascend, that means anytime that you're ascend, your 3D is going to shift, and it's going to shift, quote unquote, violently, right? It's going to upset the comfort that you're in as an individual, as you're living your life. And so that release and that grieving is important. That crying, that not doing anything, that just being there in that moment with the fucked upness, with the sadness, with the anger, with the pain, all of that is important, because if you don't feel it now, you're going to feel it later. There is no going around it or above it or underneath it, right? In our previous video, it's only going through it and feeling your way through. And that is where the wisdom is. That is where the understanding of the lesson is. And the reality is, once we get to where we're ascending to, we will see why people, places, things, experiences, and situations had to end and fall away, regardless. You know, I think that a lot of the times people talk about giving yourself grace, but what is giving yourself grace other than, this is how I feel and I'm doing my best? It's when we say, I shouldn't be feeling like this. Time, it's taking too long. By now I should be boop boop boop, and this. It's like you're trying to dictate and control how it should be going, when you should just be going with the flow, because your life is flowing. So allow it, make the decision of who you are and who you're becoming. But also, like, right, one of the 4 agreements, always do your best. If your best today, like my best the other day, was just getting out of my bed, making up my bed, and going to the gym, that was my best for the day. Then there was another day where laying in my bed and feeling was the best that I could do. And it's not about going into down the spiral. It's about, this is what I'm feeling, not adding, right? Don't add your own extra shenanigans to what you're feeling. Keep it at what you're actually feeling, and that's how you get through it. When you are giving yourself grace, you're saying, I am worth the time, energy, and patience that it takes to navigate this life experience. Breath, taking those deep breaths, right? In for 4, hold for 4, release for 6, and really being with yourself. I'm not telling you it's easy, right? Because when I was talking to my therapist, I'm like, so you saying I gotta just be like, bop, bop, bop? And he's like, no. He was like, that shit's hard as hell. What I am saying is that you have to do it. I'm like, oh, well, he didn't say I have to do it, but you know. Okay, my bad, y'all. Call coming through. But no, he didn't. My therapist didn't say that you had to do something, but he did bring through, like, give me some recommendations. And part of those recommendations is me taking the aligned actions that come with those recommendations to heal myself and free myself from what I created for myself. And that's part of my lesson. Who's at the door? Okay. I'm like, this video must be about to be watched for real because I keep getting all these little interruptions. But when we're healing and navigating through things that it's just not what we want. It's like surrendering to what is so that you can create a new what is. And oftentimes our what is we want to include another person, place, thing, or experience, but you have to understand how will works. Will is free, which means it cannot be controlled. Even your own will that is free cannot be controlled. If y'all stuck with me on this video, please just go ahead and drop a comment, a like, or something, and just be like, girl, we here with you. We picking up what you putting down, because that's really how. Okay, thank you, source, spirit, universe, everything, all y'all, God. That's literally how your ascension and your manifestation experiences are. You make a decision, right? My decision was to come out here and make this video. And there will be experiences that want to halt, stagnate, and delay what you decided, right? Because once you make the decision, you take the aligned action. When you take the aligned action, you're working towards the outcome, and eventually, after so many aligned whatever, you now have this outcome. Okay, and this experience, I said, okay, after I had my moment of release, my spirit was like, okay, come speak to the collective. Okay, as I'm sitting here speaking to the collective, I get a phone call. Then I get I'm getting a new stove, y'all. So that's why I'm like, I be having all these losses, but I get blessings all at the same time. But my new stove is being installed or whatever. And so that was an interruption that I had to go navigate. So now here I am talking to y'all again, and boom, I see one of my kiddos, one of my little people. You know how little kids, they be like, oh, you wasn't thirsty, all of a sudden now this person is in the kitchen doing stuff, now all of a sudden you want to get up. So now I had to pause so that I could go and parent really quick and then come back to this video. Now, with all of those experiences and challenges and interruptions, I could have decided, okay, this video is just not worth it. Obviously, this video just don't want me to make it. No, those interruptions are a byproduct of you pushing through to your frequency, to what you desire. That's no different when you say, okay, I'm going to the gym. Just like the other day, I went to the gym and the gym was packed because there was a hotel there. They were having like a hiring fair, a job fair, and there were people not just there for the gym but for that. And so there were no parks. So I could have decided to leave the gym, but instead I was like, you know what, I see cars parked up on the grass, up on the dirt, up on this. I'm going to go do that. I'm going to find me a plot of land and I'm going to pull up on there because that's what I got a truck for. And so I did that. And so it's like, okay, when you make a decision, I saw this woman, she shared a video on I don't know which platform it was, but she was talking about how when you manifesting something, and as soon as you get in that manifestation or you release that manifestation, the matrix be like try to block it and throw all these different things at you because you're on this vibrational match for what it is that you're manifesting and asking for. But then you get distracted by all these little things, which then lower your vibration, and now you're sad again. Now you're like, oh, now you have to resubmit your order to the universe, God, whomever, because you done came down from that frequency. Now, here's something I was explaining to someone the other day about high frequency, low emotion, high frequency, high emotion, low frequency, high emotion, and low frequency, low emotion. You can be in a high frequency and have a low emotion because, right, when you are manifesting and becoming, the frequency is high. You're going to another level, but your whole 3D world is going to fall apart, which means you will be sad, mad, upset, frustrated at what you're seeing in your 3D, but you knowing that it's a part of getting to that next ascension level says this is where your growth is. This is where it's at. You're on the frequency that you need to be on. But because you have this aligned perspective, because you're on this high frequency, even though you're sad, you're like, this sadness is a part of it. My releasing is a part of the frequency that I'm in. Why? Because I sprayed my face and was like, okay, let's come talk to the collective about this, right? High frequency. Now when you have low frequency, high emotion, low frequency, high emotion, those are the people that are smiling but they're really dying on the inside. Those are the people who are doing the jokes but they're really angry on the inside, depressed on the inside, and they're just trying to save face. But we only look at low frequency, low emotion. So we have to see someone actually being sad to know that they are sad without looking at the results of their life. We have to see someone happy and experiencing the experiences on this high frequency in order to believe that they're happy. Everything works out for us how it needs to work out for us. Things come to come to fruition based on frequency or not. Right? So we can be sad and say it's getting better, it's getting better, it's getting better. And you see it getting better because that person is moving from low emotion to high emotion, all within a high frequency. But then you might have someone who's happy and they're like, it's going to get better, but it just keep getting worse. And every time they talk to you, it's some fucked up shit, but they're not really sad about it. They're in a low frequency, but a high emotion. So there's no right or wrong to this. There's no right or wrong to this. It's just life. It's just living. And, even growing this channel, I'm like, I'm growing. I'm doing my part. But then I'm seeing all these things of what I'm not doing and what I should be doing and how I should be doing something. And it's like, that's bringing down my frequency. Because I'm going to just do what my higher self is leading me to do, and I'm going to stop trying to help my higher self. If I am my highest self, and that was like another thing, I'm like, I'm my highest self on my highest timeline, and in my specific situation, I'm like, if we're both our higher selves on our highest timeline, how did we get there? Because maybe our highest selves on our highest timeline don't align, and that sucks. See, next interruption. Okay, so this video is about to hit 8 minutes. I know all the other little clip videos that I had was probably about 4 or 5 minutes. So we're going to merge those together and have a full video. I love you, love you, love you. If you haven't already, go ahead and tap into the Rich Life Digital Library, where I have an abundance of resources for you all. Follow me and connect with me on all social media platforms at 8 Hour Rich Book. If you haven't already, watch my TEDx talk. Link will be in the description. Share that with somebody that you know, because I told y'all, like in every freaking video after that TED talk, my life, I want to say fell apart, but I can't even say fell apart anymore. My life was happening for me. So I love you, love you, love you, and I'll catch you on the next Rich Life experience.